noisy recovery, hot tank, slow transfers, you may have flow restrictions. Let's take a look at removing restrictions for fast refrigerant recovery. Flow restrictions can include Schrader valves in the system access fittings, quarter pressors in the hose fittings, quarter-inch hoses or worn-out hoses, the valves on the recovery cylinder not being fully opened, and even the tube from the liquid port into the tank. A hot recovery cylinder and slow recovery speeds typically indicate restrictions on the input side of the recovery machine. When you are hooked up to a liquid port on a system, a restriction, such as a Schrader valve or quarter pressor, acts as an expansion valve. The result is a slow flow of vapor instead of liquid. To demonstrate, we have a pressure gauge to display the pressure of the tank and another gauge showing the pressure drop due to the restriction. We will be pulling liquid from the liquid port of the tank and using a ball valve to create a restriction during recovery. While the point of restriction grows colder, the transition to vapor begins absorbing heat. When the heat of compression is added to the vapor, the tank gets hotter and recovery gets slower. Another sign of input restrictions is condensation or frost. This may be at the hose fittings, access valve, or near tight bends in the condenser tubing on the system. Don't get heated up by input restrictions. Remove Schrader valves and quarter pressors and use 3/8 hoses to allow full liquid flow to reach the recovery machine. Output restrictions are typically easier to diagnose. Knocking during liquid recovery occurs when the recovery machine is pumping refrigerant faster than the output line empties into the tank. Use 3/8 hoses to reduce the back pressure on the recovery machine and connect to the vapor port of the cylinder to avoid the restrictive liquid tube. You can rotate the cylinder during the liquid phase of recovery to fill from the bottom up, which in turn improves heat dissipation from the cylinder. What happens when restrictions are removed? Well, see for yourself. Most of this transfer was done at an incredible 12 pounds per minute. With the restrictions removed, we transferred over 15 pounds and achieved a 10-inch vacuum in less than 5 minutes. Remove the restrictions and your recovery will be faster, cooler, and easier than ever.